Now then, welcome back to another episode on the Utopia³ server. And today is episode number 17. And I'm checking out what we're doing and where we are and all that sort of stuff, because I've had a few days off the server. A few days off the internet because my broadband connection was lost in a storm. The telephone cables on the way to my house down the street ended up being affected by storms, and so I just had no internet. It was intermittent for a while, so I haven't been able to get onto the server and play regular. I've managed to get on the server and then it would cut out after 5 or 10 minutes, and then get back on the server and it would cut out after 5 or 10 minutes, and it's just not possible to record when it's like that. So I had a brief break. I'm coming over here now to just check things are still working, because of course the server's still been running. Something's wrong there, isn't there? The server's been running constantly while I've not been here, and so everything's still been doing what it's supposed to be doing, hopefully. Capacitor bank is at full. The engines, they've got lava. Everything looks powered well enough. I logged in to move the lava supply at one point because we'd run out, and now it seems to be fine again. The lava tank is full, which is good, and I moved the pump, the endothermic pump in the nether. I don't want to use that all the time though. I want to use this because this is a natural resource that I can grow, harvest, and turn into charcoal. And then in this little section down here, which isn't quite ready yet, but I'm going to show you today anyway, in this we've got everything I need apparently, but this is all off for some reason as well. No power going to it. Steam dynamos don't have any charcoal. There is charcoal in the system, I know that. There's no charcoal stored. There was supposed to be lots of charcoal in the system. There's plenty of oak and birch wood in the system. Looks like it's burnt through all of the birch, jungle and spruce wood in the system and left all the oak. So that's why these haven't been working, because these were set up for spruce, birch and jungle. So it's burnt out all of the woods that I had produced, made charcoal, and then the system's been powering itself but not keeping the farms going for some reason. Yep. Fertilizer ran out, that'll be why. Ran out of fertilizer, so when I ran out of fertilizer I ran out of production, and when you run out of production, of course, then it catches up with you. So let's get some of this. Actually there's 62 fertilizer in there. Let's take some of that out and put a bit of fertilizer in that one, and a bit of fertilizer in this one, and over on the other side stick a bit of fertilizer in that one. Okay, so that should get those going once there's power again. Now, to get power, can we burn? Yes, we can. We can burn that. That would get the ball rolling at least. So let's change this to be oak. Let's get enough power going to get started. Let's just throw some of these in just for now, just to get some power output. And that should start kicking in some power into these guys. Should. What are we on? We're on 40. That's good. So we're starting to power it up. Machine buffers are filling. That's good. It's filling first. It's filling itself first. Okay, fine. And once it's filled, will it then start filling other things? Yep, there we go. So now the controllers started working, which means that all of the systems will start working again, and the oak wood will start turning into charcoal. And the charcoal will start going up, and then these things will kick in and they'll start receiving charcoal. Yep, well, those two are started at least, and then they'll start powering the farms, and then the farms will get going. And then everything else will start working. So what I'm really short of at the minute seems to be the fertilizer storage. So I need to get myself fertilizer sorted out. And now this controller's stopped. Odd. Because that is definitely connected and on full power. But that has kicked out of there again. It was definitely working when I came up, wasn't it? We had this problem before with the applied energistics disconnecting itself. Okay. Okay, right. Well, just what I wanted to see. Awesome. So, have I got any spares? No, I haven't. Okay, well, I'll have to fix this. Figure out where stuff is, because I can't communicate with that controller there. So, I'm going to have to go and get the AE disk from over here. This is the real problem with the AE system, is whatever it relies on for power, if that power goes, so does all of your storage. Everything you own disappears once you've got that missing part. But I've got a sort of a backup to get things rolling again. Definitely need the fertilizer to get this rolling though. So this one is a direct feed. This one has direct power coming down into here from a few solar panels, photovoltaic solar panels or something like that, and that allows me to be able to put this sort of stuff in place when I need it. So I need a piece of covered cable. There we go. And the reason I use covered cable, as far as I know, it reduces the amount of frames per second you need, because there's no little graphic that runs between them. Okay, it refuses to connect. Refuses to connect to that. Why? Why would it refuse? Let's take the controller out. Okay, thank you. Now let's put this in here like that, and then put the controller in like that, and it connects back up again. It's odd, isn't it? It's an odd little bug that can bring the whole AE system down. And I don't think it's attributed to anything else, because that tesseract there is beaming directly from here to there. And that's being converted and stored into these energy cells, which means that the AE system should have plenty of energy stored, so it's not going to run out anytime soon. And there's lots of production here. And now it's all working. Which is very odd, isn't it? I don't get it. I don't claim to understand what's wrong with it, but it seems to be a little bug that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And now, with the fertilizer spread out across those farms, I have these systems working. What I really want to do is power the main AE system with charcoal as well. And that just went again. Lost access again. Like it's disconnecting regularly. I think it might have something to do with the mod that we've got installed, the AE version that we've got installed. There's a few bugs with it. So with the next update, which is coming soon, very soon, I should get that sorted out. What I really need to do is go and find some apatite or some fertilizer in some world and dig it up. And then we will be okay for fertilizer for these farms again. And get these on the go. Because without the maintenance of me being here, constantly running quarries and the like, we seem to have missed out on quite a bit. It just sort of stopped, didn't it? So while the main AE system's working, this charcoal system is not. And if the charcoal system's relying on the fertilizer, then we need to make sure that the fertilizer is produced in another way if possible. Let's have a look. So we've got apatite, which we need to dig up. So let's see if we can find another way instead of apatite. Concentrated compound comes from magic bees, which makes it as well. So we could have some magic bees set up in the future to have a little bee paradise, setting those up to bring that in for us, and that makes fertilizer quite easily like that. The other way to make fertilizer is saltpeter and these, and industrial fertilizer makes fertilizer just like that. How do we make industrial fertilizer? Sticks, wheat, bone meal and string. Well, we could do that to start off with, can't we? We can make some of that, I should think. If this AE system would stop breaking on me. I bet that's the same problem again, isn't it? Whoosh. Whoosh. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, disconnected again. Okay. Refusing to connect because of what? Why is it refusing to connect? Why, when I take that off and put it back, does it then connect and work? What's the problem here? Why is this a problem? What is going on with this? Is it overpowered? Is there too much energy coming in? Is there too much power so it disconnects so that it doesn't overload? How would that be true? I don't understand. We will figure that out sometime, though. We may mess around with the mods to try and figure that one out. So, industrial fertilizer. Let's have a look. We can make quite a bit. So let's make quite a bit. So we ran out of string. Okay, no problem. Let's turn that into normal fertilizer. And fill up our inventory with normal fertilizer, and the AE system dissipates again. And then we put this fertilizer into this system here, and that should feed the farms properly. So that'll keep us going for a bit longer. But we need to craft fertilizer that way, or where's the industrial fertilizer? Well, we haven't got any industrial fertilizer left, otherwise it would come up there. So, all in all, everything's breaking on me. That's got power, this is not powered. It's offline. We've got severe problems with the AE system right now. With the AE itself. I don't understand what exactly is going wrong with it. That's got power, but it's not powering. So I've got a big problem to sort out with AE. A big problem to sort out with AE. And I don't know whether it's these energy cells or these power relays or what it is exactly that's doing it. Let's see if I've got any conducts. Yeah, let's get some of them. Let's take this energy power relay out, because that's something that's working in both cases. Nope, the Ender.io doesn't seem to be making that much difference there. So it's not necessarily that. And again, just there but not there. Let's get rid of the energy cell. And reset the system. See if the energy cells are at fault. Nope, it's not the energy cell. Well, I seem to have fixed that bit. The problem, potentially, I'm pretty sure the problem was that it was on low power. And I, being a noob, didn't really realise that low power meant that it couldn't power this lot off it. So it was receiving enough power, but then it wasn't getting enough power. So all I did was kickstart this with some wood. So it burnt some wood, and all four kickstarted into here. Built up some power into the energy, built up a supply of energy stored, and then I replaced it and it kicked it all back into working order, and now it's been automated ever since. So due to the fertilizer running out over the few days that I've not been here, the whole place ground to a halt. But now we've made the fertilizer from the industrial fertilizer, IC2, That gives us 2 options for getting fertilizer. And I'm going to have to maintain that for a little bit by hand for now, just for now. And then we'll get back onto something else. I also switched round so that this same array over here is now set up over here, because these were not receiving enough power. These weren't receiving enough power off just 4 charcoal generators, basically. 4 generators just was not enough, so I've switched those up to steam dynamos, and now it's exactly the same setup. It's outputting down there, and it's got an input of charcoal, and it's keeping stocked up on there, and the water behind, so matching sides. I think I'd prefer it if it was the other way around, but yeah, it's fine, isn't it? Because it comes out from there, the cable comes out from there and goes straight round, so it's easier to just have another cable there rather than having to switch the powers around. Also, the power wire goes out and then up and along here. So these 4 here are also powering these 3 machines, and also all of the farms are receiving power from that setup. So it's quite important to get that up and running. So I switched that up as well. And that's fixed the problem I was having here. So it was low power that was doing it. It was saying everything was connected, but it couldn't quite power it all. And the problem that I've figured out over here, this capacitor bank still solidly full. There's plenty of energy coming in. And this section over here kept breaking off. So it was disconnecting, and then nothing was working. But there was plenty of power in there, so I couldn't understand it. Well, it turns out that this cable that goes all the way down to Ego's, since Ego's last episode where he destroyed his base ready to rebuild it again, that's Ego for you, wants to rebuild, build and build and rebuild, and I think it's like the 4th or 5th time he's pulled down that mansion so far. Well, now, because he did that, he had taken away a chunk loader that was keeping his base and his AE system loaded. So this cable that comes all the way down here couldn't reach the other end because it wasn't chunk loaded. And now, if I check the map here and we go on to chunk loading, loaded chunks, here we go. You can see I've added a chunk spot loader there and a spot loader there. While I was in his base, everything was working fine because I've got spot loaders over this side. But while I was over here, we can whiz over here quickly again, whiz back. While I was over here at my side of the base, if we check the map now, you'll see that there's no chunk loaders in this section. So the cable was being chunk loaded going to his base, but then he had removed the chunk loader that was in this chunk here, that was chunk loading those few chunks around it. He'd removed it so that these 2 chunks weren't loaded, and so his AE system wasn't loaded. And I feel like that was what was doing it. It was trying to check it, and then if I move this way, the chunks loaded would be 1 more in that direction. If I'd come over to this section here, then these chunks over here would load. And so I've put a couple of spot loaders down. Ego will probably put a chunk loader back in place around there when he rebuilds his base, and all will be good in the AE system. So let's get on and do something.
Now then,
Ego.
Now then, Nemson.
I've called you in to help me out.
You're long past help.
Okay. I've been fiddling about with stuff over at my AE farms, and they're pretty much the same as your farms, the forestry farms. We set them all up at the same time, yeah?
Apart from mine are better.
Well, yours are different, let's put it that way. But we both need fertilizer for these farms, and we seem to have a shortage of supplies. We could keep mining using quarries to get apatite. However, what's this?
You just said you had an appetite.
Very funny, yes. So we keep running out of apatite, and other than running a quarry all the time, which we could do, but I'd rather not have to. We've got plenty of resources, we don't need a quarry running.
We don't, I was going to say, we're at that point now where, apart from we seem to have lost all our dirt, we don't need anything, do we? What's the point in running a quarry just to say, we have 10,000 million diamonds and 10,000 million blocks of iron? It's a waste.
It is, it's an absolute
Plus
waste.
It creates lag, so what's the point?
And it creates server lag, which we don't need either. So I would prefer not to just be quarrying because we need apatite.
So in that case, let's shut the farms down and never use them ever again.
No, let's find another solution. One thing I found was the IC2 fertilizer.
I've got another solution. We put on balaclavas and we go on the rob.
And we go and rob people's appetites.
You can be Bonnie and I'll be Clyde.
Or you could be Thelma and I can be Luke. No, that doesn't work either. So IC2 fertilizer converts directly into the forestry fertilizer that we use. So I figured I'd get you over here and we would set up something to make IC2 fertilizer in your IC2 base and keep it separate from my MJ stuff over there. So what we got is we've made a bit of space down here, cleared it out a bit. Now all of this is currently producing a healthy amount of IC2 power.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's quite an excessive amount of IC2 power for the farms that you've currently got.
Energy is power, and power is power.
Energy, power, yeah. So if we use this power that you've got here and a few other blocks and items from a few other mods, we should be able to, in this little section over here, create IC2 fertilizer in a constant supply to feed all our farms with the fertilizer we need.
Sounds way too technical.
It's
Probably
easy.
not.
It's going to be easy. So what we're going to do, the solution I've thought of and we figured out we could probably fit in this little space over here, hence the bit of grass that you've silk touched and brought down here.
We're going to get a horse, and then we're going to turn the horse manure into fertilizer.
If only horses gave off little droplets of fertilizer that we could then utilise, but it doesn't quite work like that yet. Somebody will mod it one day. Horses will actually
in that case,
drop
I suggest we get a cow. Not a cow.
a sheep.
We'll just go for all the mobs. We'll get a duck. We'll get a sheep, and then we can turn the sheep into lamb chops.
Yeah, what we've got is the ability to make IC2 fertilizer from sticks, bone meal, wheat, and string. Now we've got quite a lot of bones, and the Wither farm the Wither farm that we've got on the server produces a stupid amount of excess bones that we can just go and grab bundles of whenever we want. We've got forestry tree farms that are producing so much wood that we can use for sticks. We've got plenty of sticks. And you've got a wheat farm over here that's producing all the wheat we ever need. The only thing we haven't got is string.
A brain.
So string, that's what we're working on in this little section. So we need a sheep so that we can harvest the wool from a sheep, turn the wool through putting it through a macerator into string, and then use the string and the wheat from over here and the wood from over there and create ourselves fertilizer to have a constant supply of fertilizer in the AE system. So that's basically the system we're going to do.
So easy then.
It should be fairly easy. We're bound to find some complications on the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right now and come back when we've done something. When you're going to carry on recording and see
all
what we get up to.
All the mistakes that you're going to make.
You get to record all of the bits in between of us sorting it all out for your channel. So let's crack on with it. Okay. So we've done.
I did
Awesome.
it all. I, as everybody will see, I did it all.
When you look on your channel, you will see that you did it all. You made a macerator and everything.
Made a macerator and all these things that go into the macerator. I did it all.
You sang to the sheep to make the sheep grow wool faster. You did?
I might have done that.
That's true. The sheep seem to be giving us a steady supply of white wool. Not quite as much as we would Okay, just take that away. Why don't you?
Making a
Breaking
sunroof.
stuff. Right, and it's all nice and symmetrical as well, it looks. Apart from this bit here doesn't quite look right.
Ear.
Here, yeah, just this bit here just doesn't quite look right because it's got a bit of cable sticking up. But it's fine. It's fine. It's virtually symmetrical. What we've got going on then is we've got the sheep farm obviously producing wool through an MFR rancher, and the MFR rancher is putting the sheep wool into the chest. There's an import bus importing the wool directly into the AE system. So we're getting white wool into the AE system constantly from that. And that will go on forever, regardless of anything else that's happening in this system. Then we've got this macerator over here, which is set to export wool into the top of the macerator to get macerated wool, which makes string, and then import that into the system, so we get all the string we want. The level emitter is restricting it so that when there's 64 string in the system, it will turn off the wool going into the macerator to stop that happening. It sounds so simple when I'm explaining it now, but while we were messing about, it just didn't always go so smoothly.
Don't worry about it, went perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine. Don't watch Ego's channel to find out otherwise. Hey, you've got, that's cool. I like that, having them on the rooftops. Yeah, because I like having crafting benches in the floor as well. Have the AE system in the floor. That'd be cool. This one over here. Oh, you've got one of those. That's a good idea. Put that down somewhere. I can still hear them.
Damn, it doesn't work on you.
It only works on you.
No, I wanted it to work on you, as in shut you up.
You git. Right, well, me and my viewers are going to listen to me to talk about this bit while you just shut up.
What?
This macerator is macerating bones from the system. So bones from the system get exported into this macerator, and that macerator then makes the bones into bone meal and exports it back into the system. The level emitter is saying, do not do any more bone meal if we've got 64 in the system already. And then the piece de resistance, the final piece of the puzzle, is that we are making the industrial fertilizer, which industrial fertilizer recipe, showing my viewers now, is a stick which the AE system knows how to craft from wood already, the string from the macerator that's macerating the wool, the bones from the bone meal from the macerator that's making bones into bone meal, and the wheat from Ego's wheat farm. Makes 16 industrial fertilizer per stick, which is pretty cool. And that is auto crafting. It's crafting items and putting it into this chest. Every time it can, it will craft fertilizer and put it in there. The other thing we've got is the fertilizer recipe to change industrial fertilizer to normal fertilizer using the AE, and that will also try and craft it, but only when the level emitter above is not giving it a redstone signal. So it's only active when it's without a signal. And the level emitter above tells it that when we've got 64 fertilizer in the AE system, it's to emit a redstone signal, which stops it making stuff altogether, and that should back up the system in order to make sure that we have then a backlog of string, because it's not being used to craft fertilizer, which will turn off the wool to string production. Sorry, am I interrupting you staring at the ceiling?
I was in the AE system.
That's the trouble with that, though, isn't it? You have to look up and it just looks like I'm AFK.
I broke my neck, Nam.
I broke my neck. It's dead.
It was a sheeping accident.
Ugh.
The doc said there was something sheepish about it.
Sheepish.
Bah.
So now, over at my side of things, I'm going to pop over there right now and show you. You want to come and see?
Yeah.
Come on, then. So now, over in my system over here, the fertilizer is starting to stack up. I've now got 48 fertilizer in my system. Boing. 48 fertilizer in my system, which means that all 4 farms should have full 64 fertilizer in each. All the fertilizer is coming into this chest here. So every time that system we've just set up at Ego's makes some fertilizer, it ends up in this chest over here. And then that gets put into the AE system from the chest, gets put into the AE system over here, and that gets stored into this disk over here. The disk for fertilizer can hold 1024 bytes of information, which means that it's going to have 8,000 fertilizer stored. Not quite as limited as I thought it was going to be. So every single farm in here needs to be fully stocked with fertilizer, and the AE system here needs to have over 8,000 fertilizer sitting in it, for then there to be a backlog of 64 fertilizer in the ender chest, so that the system at Egos will shut itself down and stop working. That's quite a bit of fertilizer we're going to have by the end of it.
Somebody didn't do the maths right, did they?
No, but it's fine. It's okay. Because once it hits that stage, then it will slow right down.
Nem,
Hello.
I'm in the dump bin.
Yeah.
And I've got 1,312 fertilizer.
Right.
Why?
Well, that might be when we were making it before it had a home.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe before we had a home. The other thing that may be happening is that it hasn't got another home.
It's still going in it.
Okay. Right, well, to fix that, we go with the forestry mod section. Where have I got forestry in here? Forestry, there, okay. And pass us a bit of that fertilizer, please, if you've got some on you now.
Can I have my axe, please?
I don't want your axe. I want a piece of fertilizer, thank you. Put the fertilizer in that, format that, take that, put that in there, and then go over here. Stick that into the core mods, so now it will store fertilizer in the main system. So if you throw all the fertilizer you've got in over there into the main AE system, it'll store it on that disk, the forestry disk. And then I can also get the fertilizer that we need from there, go down to the ender chest that's currently having it set up to craft fertilizer, and turn that to storage craft, and that will then store the fertilizer export as well there. Always craft single items, move stacks, move single items, let's move stacks and craft. So you should see that the AE system is now filtering out fertilizer. Yep, so the 1,000 you've just put in there is now slowly but surely leaving the AE system we've got there and going into the ender chest. And that should then be coming down here into this.
Yep.
Slowly but surely, which will fill that up by 1,000 quickly. And then when that's the case, this ender chest here, which is receiving stacks on stacks of fertilizer, should keep a stack of fertilizer in there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, when it's caught up, I will tell it to always keep a stack of fertilizer in there. So at the minute, it'll just regulate it to keep 15 in there, I should think. That'll be good. So then the fertilizer's moving around properly. It's building up a stockpile. That stockpile should increase while we're offline because it's all chunk loaded. And then we should have all the fertilizer we need. And if you ever want fertilizer for anything, we can use these chest colours. And we should find that it's got fertilizer in it. In it, eh? Or maybe not. Because it's imported the fertilizer. It's going to have to back up the full supply first and then put the fertilizer into the ender chest. But at the minute, it's going to empty all the stuff out of the ender chest as fast as it can. Oh, you just clicked the button, didn't you? You just clicked the control. Yeah, that's it. You fixed it. You fixed it. You know what you're doing.
I've already done it like 3 times.
And that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching once again. Me and Ego will be up to some more mischief on the server in an episode coming at you very soon. Don't know what we're going to do next yet, though, do we, mate? We'll just figure something out and we'll get on with it later on. And I'll be back constantly to keep doing bits and pieces to automate this system. I next need to figure out how to set up the charcoal into power system properly, instead of having this lava setup that I've got going on in here at the minute. So reduce the fact that we don't then need to go and get lava from anywhere. We don't need to go and find lava, and we don't need to rely on lava power. We'll rely on farm power. eco-friendly and ego-friendly, because you don't have to go into the nether and sort it out, do you, mate?
Never the scary place.
So, from me and Ego, thank you very much.
Me.
And Ego and me. Thank you very much for watching another episode on Utopia Cube.